Okay, so then we can proceed. So in this session, we can start with the DOS attack, and then we can move to session hijacking and web application attacks. Yeah. So first here, yeah. So first here we have DOS attack. So can anyone tell me what is DOS attack or what is DDoS attack, which is denial of service attack or distributed denial of service attack?
No.
Anyone? So basically, we have denial of service attack. Let's say we have a server, and let's say that server is capable of handling 100 requests, and you, as an attacker, is sending lots of requests. So here we are like sending the server lots of requests. So let's say let's create a figure here. Yeah. So let's say we have this server. Okay, and let's say here we have this attacker PC. Now let's say this attacker this server is can handle 100 requests at a time, and you as a attacker is sending lots of requests, let's say 1,000 requests, or we can say 10,000 requests. So in this case we are sending lots of requests to the server so that we can crash the server or we can slow down the server. That is known as DOS attack, which is denial of service attack, where we are sending the lots of requests to the server in order to crash the server or we can say slow down the server. Okay, that is simple DOS attack. Now let's say this server can handle 1 million requests or let's say 100 million requests. Now you cannot send 100 million requests or more than 100 million requests from this single PC. So what you need multiple PCs. Okay, let's say you have called your friends, your colleagues, everyone, and you have gathered 1 to 5 PCs. Now you all together are sending the packets from these PCs. Okay, let's say 100 million, 1,000 million packets. Okay, or we can say 1,000 million requests. So in this case, we are crashing the server down. So now this is known as DDoS attack. So what is the difference in DOS attack? In the DOS attack, we are sending or we are using one PC, and in the DDoS attack, we are using multiple PCs. Okay, so these are known as DOS and DDoS attack. Okay, so the purpose is same only. The purpose is to share lots of packets so that we can crash the server or we can slow down the server. That is known as denial of service attack. Okay, so what we can do, we will see how we can apply this attack. So first we will see how we can apply this attack with the help of Metasploit, then HPing3, and then Rainstorm. Okay, so basically in our case, the target machine is going to be our Metasploitable machine, and the attacker machine is going to be our Kali machine. Okay, so and as we cannot apply the attack on any kind of machine, like that is illegal, so we will going to apply this on the virtual machine. Okay, on the Metasploit. So basically, the target machine is the Metasploitable machine. and the attacker machine is Kali machine. Okay. So first we will going to find the IP address of the metasploitable machine. So we can use Angry IP scanner for that, or we can use advanced IP scanner, or we can use Net Discover. Okay, so you can use any of these applications. So first we will see the IP address of Kali machine. Okay, then we can apply the range here, which is 192.168.1.1 to 255. Okay, so this is my router IP, metasploitable IP, which is 192.168.1.38. Okay, so we can mention the IP here. Yeah. So the target IP is 192.168.1.38. Okay, now first we will see how we can apply the attack with the help of Metasploit. Metasploit is a tool. So what we will do, we will use it here. First, we will start the Metasploit. Okay, with the help of MSF console. Okay, so we will going to use a auxiliary to apply the attack. So for this, we will use auxiliary slash DOS slash TCP slash SYNFlood. Okay, so basically we are sending the TCP packets and we are sending TCP SYN packets and we are flooding the target with lots of SYN TCP SYN packets. Okay, so we are going to use this auxiliary and then again we can use show options. And here we have to set the ROST, which is yes, the requirement is yes. So we have to set the ROST and even you can change the R port. Like here the R port is 80, you can change any port number. Okay. And then we have SOST. Like if you want to spoof the IP, then you can also spoof the IP address. So basically, we are going to we are going to set the ROST, which is 192.168.1 dot, I think, 38. Okay, and then we can use show options again. Okay, so the ROST has been set. Now we can clear the screen first. Now we have to monitor the packet. So for this, for the monitoring, we will use Wireshark. Okay, like I want to check how many packets are being shared by the Kali machine to the target machine. So for this, we will use Wireshark to monitor the process. Okay, so here you can select your interface and then here you can apply the filter, which is IP dot ADDR equal IP address is 192.168.1.38. So we can filter on the basis of target IP. Okay, because we want to check how many packets are sent by the Kali machine to the target machine. So that is why I have put the IP address of the target machine. Okay, then we can press run here, enter. Okay, now you can see the Kali machine, which is the source IP, is sending the destination IP these packets. Okay, so now here you can see the number of packets, which is 6,000, 7,000. It is keep on increasing. Okay, and let me stop the attack because the same machine is inside my system. So maybe my system can crash down. Okay, so now here within few seconds, the Kali machine has sent around 10,000 packets, 10,469 packets, as you can see in the displayed. Okay, so these number of packets has been sent by the Kali machine to attacker machine. Okay, Now you can leave this attack for 1 hour, for 2 hours, for 3 hours. It depends on your system as well as your target. Okay, like how much request your target can handle. Okay, so basically we have sent 10,400 requests within few seconds. Okay, so this is how we can apply the DOS attack with the help of Metasploit. Then second we can apply with the help of H3. Okay, so basically let me restart the Wireshark. Okay, so that we can capture the packet again. And here we will going to use H3 and then IP address of your target machine, which is 1.38 and then hyphen flood and enter. Okay. Now HPing3 is more powerful than that Metasploit. Okay. Because you can see the number of packets. It is keep on increasing 5,000, 50,000, 60,000, 70,000 and so on. Okay. So let me stop the capturing. Now you can see within few seconds, the attacker machine has sent around 78,000 packets. Okay, and here we can see it is like more than like 80,000 packets within few seconds. So basically, HPing3 is more powerful than Metasploit. Okay, so it depends on like how many number of packets you are sending with your attacker machine. Okay, so it's 87,000 packets within few seconds. Now you can leave it to 1 hour, 2 hour. Okay, so it will be like 1 million, 2 million packets and so on. So it depends. Okay. Then next here we have now we have one more tool which is Ravenstorm. So we can apply the attack with the help of this tool also. Now Ashping3 and Metasploit, these are pre-installed, but we have to install this one, Ravenstorm. So what we can do, we can simply search. Now Ravenstorm is more powerful than Ashping3. Okay. So here we can mention Ravenstorm. GitHub. Okay. So we can install it. So for the installation, first we can apply this command. Okay, so copy this one, this command. Okay, and then you can apply here. Okay, so this will take around 5 minutes. Okay, so basically I have pre-installed. Let me stop this. Then you can write, after installing this one, you can write sudo rst. Okay, so this will start the Ravenstorm. Now, with the help of this application, we can apply the attack on many layers. We can apply attack on layer number 4, layer number 3, layer number 7. Even we can apply the attack on Wi-Fi routers, on Bluetooth module, etc. So what we will do, we will apply the attack on layer number 4. Okay, so we can select a layer or layer number 7. We can apply on any layer. So let's say layer number 7. Okay, now here we can set the target. So we can set the target, which is 192.168.1 and 38. So we have to mention the URL here. So we can mention the URL of the target machine. Sorry, we have to mention a target. Okay, and then we can set the port number. Okay, we can set multiple targets. We can set the threads. We can set the sleep and interval and so on. And then we can use run here. And before running, we can restart the Wireshark so that we can capture the packets. Okay. And here we can click on run. We can write yes and so on. Okay, so let's see. Now here you can see the number of packets. It is like keep on increasing 2000 and 7000 and so on. Okay, so basically this is applying the attack on layer number 7, which is HTTP. Okay, and you can see request receive. Now we can terminate this one. Same as we can apply the attack on layer number 4 or any other layer. Let's say layer number 4. And then here we can set the target, which is we can set the IP here. So IP and target IP is 192.168.138. Okay, and let me restart the Wireshark. Okay, and here we can click on enter, and then we can even select the port number. Okay, for on which port we want to apply the attack. So we can select port number as well, and then we can write run here and register. Okay, now you can see the number of packets. Now you can see it is like keep on increasing 18,000, 30,000, 36,000, 44,000, and so on. So let me stop the attack. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so for stopping the attack, keep on pressing Control C here. Okay, otherwise this will like flood your system with lots of packets. Now here you can see within few seconds it has sent around 5 lakh packets. Yeah, 5 lakh packets. Okay, or we can say 50,000 packets. Okay, so Ravenstorm is more powerful than the HPing 3. So it depends on the target, how much request your target can handle. And if the capacity of your target is more than 1 million, then you can use multiple PCs for applying the attack. Okay, but the main purpose is to slow down the server, or we can say to crash the server. Okay, that is the main purpose of applying the DOS attack or DDoS attack. Is it clear this much? Any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. So, how do I know that the targeted machine can handle millions of, data?
Sorry, can you repeat it?
Say, how do I know the targeted machine can handle millions of attack?
Basically, it depends on the company size as well. For example, we can take an example of Google. Google can handle multiple requests because it is a kind of like it has many servers. Even it is handling multiple like millions of requests. Let's say we have any other company, let's say Amazon. So now we can know that Amazon, Flipkart, or in any other like Google company, NASA, they are handling multiple requests. But let's say we have other company like any other company, like we can say Lakme and any other cosmetic company or any other like company, no, which is not big enough. So in that case, we can say these companies are not handling millions of requests or thousands of requests. So in that case, we can apply the attack. So it depends on the size of the company as well. So you can do some research about company, how popular the company is, where it is spread, like in which countries, and so on. And then in that case, you can make an assumption that how much request it can handle. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, got it.
Okay. Then here, next we can use Wireshark to stop the attack. Okay. Also, we can use anti-DDoS Guardian to stop the attack. Now, this window it is for Windows, so it is very easy to use. You can simply install it. Okay, let me show you the link for installation. Like this one, this anti-DDoS Guardian, it is mainly for the Windows, and it can handle like it can block multiple requests. Okay, and it is not free to use. Like some features are free and some features are paid. Okay, so we can install it. You can click on I accept and click on next, and next, and next, and install. And we can click on launch. Okay, so basically, it is not free to use. Okay, like you can use it for free, like for some few days, then you have to pay for it. Okay, now how to use it? You can simply install it. Okay, after installing, you can just check out how many requests you are getting from each and every port, whichever is open in your system. And if you are getting numerous requests, then you can turn on the anti-DDoS protection. So this will block all other requests. Okay, it is not as efficient as it looks, but yeah, we can use it. Like in for small devices, we can use it. Okay, secondly, we can use Wireshark to check how many requests you are getting. If you are getting numerous requests in your system or in your network, then you can assume that it is a DOS attack. Okay, just like we see here. For example, we are getting 5 lakh requests here. So we can like check out the number of packets. And if these packets are from the same IP address, or we can see if these packets are from the same port number, okay, then we can say this is a DOS attack. Okay, or a DDoS attack. Okay, so we can also use Wireshark to check if someone is applying the DOS attack in the network or in the system or not. Okay, then we have session hijacking. Now, session hijacking is something which is, let's say, we have a device. Now, session hijacking is also known as cookie hijacking. It is a kind of attack where we are hijacking the session. For example, let's say we have a device. Okay, now, inside this device, you are using, let's say we have a browser. Inside this browser, we are using the Facebook or any other application or any other platform. So here, let's say you log in the Facebook, and after logging in, you are using the Facebook. After using the Facebook, you just cross the browser from like directly cross the browser, and you just shut down the system. And after restarting the system after few hours, you notice that your session is open. Like you don't need to log in the Facebook again. Means your session is open. So that is like your session is open. Now, why these sessions are open? Because of the session IDs, we can say, the session tokens, we can say, or we can say the session cookies, right? So if someone can like steal your cookies or your tokens or your IDs, so any attacker can access a Facebook account or any other account without username or password. That is known as session hijacking, where we are taking the session cookies or we can say session tokens from the user system. Okay, we can take from the user system or we can take with the help of man in the middle attack. Okay, for example, let's say let's take a scenario. We have this network here. Okay, this network. Inside this network, we have this device here. Let's say this is my victim here. Okay, and this is the router here. Okay, and let's say this is a server. Let's say any AVC server. Okay, outside the network. And this is victim. Let's say this victim is using any AVC website. Okay, now how the data flow from here. So basically here we are sending the request from to the router. Okay, and then router is sending the request outside of a network because router is a gateway here to the AVC server. And if we are receiving the response, it is flowing from router to the AVC or to the victim. Okay, the victim PC. So this is the data transfer because here we are inside the network and we are connected to the router. So we have the private IP here and here the router is a public IP, right? So the data is flowing from the router. So this is a normal flow. Okay, a normal flow. Now let's say there's an attacker sitting in the middle of the router and the PC. Now not physically sitting, like logically sitting, which is let's say this is an attacker. No, attacker is sitting in the middle of the ABC, the PC, and the router. Okay, now how the attacker is sitting in the middle? For example, let's say the IP address of ABC is 192.168.1 and 4. Okay, and the router IP is 192.168.1.1. Okay, now the attacker is spoofing the IP address of both victim as well as router, which means the AVC, which is the victim will think that this attacker is the router. Okay, which means the attacker has spoofed the IP address of router, and the router will think this attacker is the this victim, which is let's say a user A. Okay, so router will think this is user A, which is the attacker, which is 192.168.14, which means the attacker has spoofed the IP address of the router as well as the victim. This is the meaning of sitting in the middle, which is the attacker, the user A will think that attacker is the router, and the router will think this attacker is the user A. So how the data will flow? So basically the user A will think this is the router. So the user A will share all its data to attacker first, and then attacker will share to router, and from router to other server. Okay, like we have many server here to the basically to internet. Okay. And same as with the response, if the response is coming from outside, first it will move to router, and from router to the attacker, because the router is thinking that this attacker is user A, because the attacker has spoofed the IP address of user A, and from attacker to the victim. So this is the attacker flow. Basically, this is known as man in the middle attack. Okay, where the attacker is sitting in the middle of the victim as well as the router. Okay, which is the data is flowing from the attacker here. So the attacker can see all the response and as well as all the request, which is the attacker can see the username, passwords, the session cookies, everything. Okay, and as well as the attacker can see the response. So this is known as man in the middle attack. Now, how you can identify if someone is sitting between you and your router? Basically, now let's consider the normal flow. So how the this is the, let's say, user A, and this is the router. Okay, so the flow, the data is flowing from user A, and this is, let's say, the server. Okay, let's say this is user A. User A to router, and from router to server. Same as from server to router and router to user A. Okay, it is a simple diagram without any DNS servers. Now, if the attacker is sitting in the middle of the attacker user A and router, so the data will flow from user A to attacker, attacker to router, router to server. Same as with the response, server to router, router to attacker, attacker to user A. So in this case, the data or the speed of the user A will slow down. Okay, like the internet speed we can see, or the speed of receiving the response will slow down. Okay. So in this case, user A can identify if someone is sitting in the middle of the router or not. Okay, like suddenly the speed slows down from the user A side because the data is flowing from the attacker. Okay, so first it will move to attacker PC and from attacker to the user A. So this in this case, the speed of the user A, like receiving the response, will slow down. Okay, so in this way, we can identify that if someone is sitting in the middle of the user A or router or not, or if someone is applying the man in the middle attack or not. So, man in the middle attack is the example of session hijacking only, because with this attack, the attacker can steal the username, the passwords, the session cookies, and the IDs and the tokens and so on. Okay, so if the user is using HTTP or HTTPS, the attacker can see all the data. Basically, if the user is using HTTP, so the attacker can see the username and password or every detail in the plain text. Okay, and if the user is using HTTPS, then the attacker cannot see because all the data is encrypted here. Okay, so this is known as man in the middle attack. Is it clear this much? Any questions?
It's clear.
Okay, so
Yeah,
this we can achieve with the help of, we will see the example of man in the middle, like how we can apply with the help of EtherCap and Hetty. Now, this attack we can apply on any device on the Android, on the iOS, macOS, or Windows or Linux. So here we will take a scenario in our case. For example, let's say we are inside a network. So this attack can we only apply inside the network. Okay, if the attacker, if the victim, and if the router, they are all on the same network. So let's take a scenario in our case, like how we can apply it. So basically, let's say this is our Windows machine. Okay, and this is our Kali machine. Sorry, router. And this is our Kali machine, which is sitting in the middle of the Windows and router. Now we are on the bridge network, right? We are on the bridge network. Bridge means whenever your Kali or your other machines are on the bridge network. So here we are assuming that Kali machine is a separate machine. Okay, it is not inside the Windows machine. That is the meaning of bridge here. Kali machine is like a separate machine here. So here, in this scenario, we will take Windows machine is our victim machine, Kali is our attacker machine, and router is our router. Okay. So what we will do, we will make this Kali to sit in between the Windows and router. Now, one more thing, if the Kali will sit in the middle of the Windows and router, so all the data will flow from Windows to Kali and Kali to router, same as with the response, router to Kali and Kali to Windows. Because Windows will think Kali is router and router will think Windows is, Kali is Windows. So all the data will flow from the middle. So this will slow down the speed of the internet or slow down the response speed. And basically in the Windows, we are connected with the Zoom application, right? We are streaming on Zoom application. So when someone is sitting on the middle, so this will slow down the time to receive the response from the server because the data is flow from one more machine, which is attacker. Okay, so the data is not flowing directly, it is flowing from the Kali machine. So this will slow down the speed of the response. So what we will do, if I apply the attack in the live class, so this will exit or this will log out me from the Zoom and the session will be ended. Okay, so that is why I cannot show this attack in the live class. If I will show you, then Zoom will like just end the session automatically. Okay, the Zoom will think that there's a internet problem and this will like end the session. So basically, I cannot show you this attack in the live class. So what I will do, I will create a video uh, for this ethercap, like how to use ethercap or how to apply the man in the middle attack and same as with the Hetty. Okay, so I will show this. I cannot show in the live class, so I will create a video and I will share it to everyone. Okay, the session hijacking video. Okay, if we going to apply this in the live class, so this will like just log out from the Zoom. This will like end the session. Okay, so basically I cannot show this attack in the class because this will slow down the connection and if the connection slows down, the Zoom will like end the session automatically. Okay, like this will like keep on ending the session. This will like keep on restarting and ending the session. So you cannot even see the how we are applying the attack. Okay, so this is known as session hijacking and how we can apply it. That I will show you in the video. Okay, I will share the separate video of session hijacking, like how we can apply it, how to use it, and so on. Is it clear? This much? Any questions? Okay, then we can move to web servers. Okay, so basically we are already seen like how we can hack the web servers, like how we can hack Metasploitable, how we can hack Keypatrix, how we can hack Keypatrix level 1 and Windows hacking and even Linux hacking. Okay, now in this scenario, we were going to apply the web application attacks. Okay, and before that we have some basic tools which we can use for web server information gathering. So first we have Ghost Eye, which we can use to collect some other information of web servers. Okay, they are mainly for the web servers only. So Ghost Eye is available on GitHub, so we can simply install it. Okay, you can click on this bullseye, and here we can install it. Now it is also made up of Python. Okay, so we can simply for the Debian and for the Kali, we can simply copy this command. Okay, like we have to install the Ether app and this nmap and other utilities. So you can simply copy it and here we can paste in the Kali. Okay. Then simply we can clone this ghost drive from here, which is you can follow the installation. Git clone here. Okay. Now we can move inside ghost drive. Now it is made up of Python, so we have to install the requirements file. Inside requirements, we have some libraries of Python which we have to install. Okay, then only we can use Ghostwrite. So what we can do, we can use pip3 install requirements.txt. Pip is a Python package manager which is used for installing and uninstalling the libraries of Python. Okay, and then we can simply use it. How to run it? So we can use Python 3 ghostwrite.py. Okay, now what kind of information you want to collect? So we can collect the DNS lookup information, who is lookup, and map port scanning, and so on. So let's start with the who is lookup. Okay. Now we can mention a domain or IP address of the target. So we can mention any IP, any domain here. So let's say test. Let me copy the IP address. So we can use this IP test PHP. So we can mention the IP here. Okay, and here you can see we have all the information of who is lookup. So this host is like a collection of many applications. Okay, so here we have the information like we have net range, we have CIDR, we have net name, and so on. Okay, it is same as who is lookup only. Okay, but this is a like a CLI application, and we have some other information like who is the or organization name and so on. Amazon Web Services, it is using cloud services and so on. Apart from this, you can collect any other information. You can crawl. You can find robots file. Robots file is an important file, so we can use 7 here. We can check if this website is using robots file or not, and simply we can copy the URL. So here we are scanning for the robots.txt. Robots.txt is a very confidential file. Okay, it contains some useful data. Okay, that we will see. Okay, so we don't have any robots file here. Or what we can do, I think this slash is extra here. So we can try again. 7. We can remove the slash. Okay, so we don't have any robots file here. So you can check if any website contains robots.txt or not with the help of this tool. And apart from this one, you can use any other option here. DNS lookup, you can check. You can check for the nmap port scan, which we can apply nmap port scanning here. And we can mention the domain. Okay, so basically, there's no port open here. Okay, or we can mention the IP address and so on. Okay, you can use the trace route here, link grabber, and so on. So we have many applications here, like options. Okay. Apart from this one, we can use ID serve. Now, ID serve is for the Windows and it is free to use. This will tell you like what kind of server or what kind of service that server is using. Okay, like what kind of technology that server is using. So what we can do, we can simply search for ID serve download. Okay, and we can click on this first URL. Okay, and here you can click on download. Okay, you have the option of download now. It is a very lightweight application. And here we can install it. Okay, now here you can click on server query. And here you can mention your domain. Let's say we can mention zomato.com. Okay, query the server. Now you can see the Zomato is using this one, the server. And in place of Zomato, we can use any other, let's say microsoft.com. So you can apply any domain here and you can check what kind of service that domain is using. Okay, we can same check for the Amazon.com. Amazon is also using Akamai host. Okay, so you can collect any other server information. Let's say we can mention JNTech website and click on query the server. Okay, so JNTech is using Lightspeed. So we can apply any domain name here and we can check out what kind of server that particular domain is using. Okay, and if this domain is vulnerable, then we can exploit the website. Okay, we can find the exploit of this server, which is Lightspeed, and then we can apply the attack on that server. Okay, then we have footprint target, web server using netcat and telnet. The same information we can collect using netcat or telnet. Okay, the same information which we have collected using IDserve. So what we can do, we can simply use NCCAT. So we can use this website. Okay, let me copy this URL. So you can mention any other URL here, netcat hyphen VV. VV means verbose. And before this one, you can copy this as well. Okay, this much. And click on enter. Then you have to paste this command, which is an enter twice. Okay, this will help you to collect the information. For example, you can see this particular website is using Cloudflare as a server. Okay, so basically you have to mention this one, which is like we are requesting for a GET request. Okay, which is HTTP GET request. Okay, and then after applying this one, you have to enter twice. And here are the instructions. First, you have to copy this command and replace your domain with your domain, and then use this one GET up to here, and then enter twice. Okay, same as with the telnet, you can apply with the telnet. Okay, so this will help you to gather what kind of server that particular target is using. Same as we can use the nmap for collecting this information with the help of HTTP enumeration. So we can use nmap script here for the HTTP enumeration, HTTP trace, or we can check if that target is using any kind of firewall or not. Okay, which is WAF firewall. So what we can do, we can try this one here. You can use nmap. Okay, now you can collect multiple information. Okay, and then here we can use nmap script. And you can mention the IP address or the domain of your choice. So we can mention this domain here. Okay. Okay, so this is especially for the HTTP enumeration. Okay, like if the port is open, then what kind of services, what kind of version that particular port is using. Okay, and if the service is vulnerable, then we can attack on that port number to gain access in the server. So let me change the URL here. This will take time. So we can mention the IP address of your target machine, which is Metasploitable machine. Okay. Okay, so here we have the information of HTTP. Okay, which is HTTP enumeration. Okay, so basically we are applying the attack on port number, like scanning on port number 80443 and all that HTTP port. Okay, now here we can see this port is open, and here we have the version information. With the version information, we have some other information which we can use in the future scenarios. For example, in the target, we have this one file which is phpinfo.php. Also, we have this test page, we have this sticky wiki, and also we have this doc page, icons page, and index page, and so on. Okay, also we have this header here, and the version is 2.2.8 here. Okay, so this is known as HTTP enumeration, where we are collecting the HTTP information. Also, you can see we have one more port open, which is 8180. In this port, we have one more service, which is HTTP only in this port number. And here the version is Coyote JSP engine. Okay, and the version is 1.1. So if you want to attack on this port number, then you can find the exploit of this particular version, which is Apache Coyote, this one 1.1. Okay. And if this version is vulnerable, then we can find the exploit. And if it is not, then we cannot able to find the exploit. If this version is vulnerable, then we can simply attack on this particular port number. Okay, that is why we are looking for the HTTP enumeration. It is very important. Okay. Apart from this HTTP enumeration, you can also apply this HTTP trace and then this one, which is WF firewall. So basically, we are checking if your target is using any kind of firewall or not. Okay, not that hardware firewall. That is like firewall is like which can protect the website from some common attacks like SQL attacks or some accesses attack. Okay, and that is like quite common. And these kinds of firewall cannot protect the website. Okay, if the website is protected by mod security, like if the firewall is protected by mod security and any other firewall, that is if the firewall is software. Okay, if the firewall is software, then we cannot able to protect the website. Okay, what we can do for protection? We can simply like just use some technique in the source code only. Okay, like we can apply some source code, like we can apply some prevention mechanism in the source code only to protect the website. Otherwise, software firewall will not help the website for the protection. Like we can bypass the firewall. Okay. So same as we can check on port number 80, same as we can check on port number 443 or any other port number which is using HTTP as a service. Okay, for example, here, apart from port number, I have removed the scan. Like apart from port number 80 and 443, this website is also using HTTP service on port number 8180. So we have to check all these three ports. Okay, whichever is using HTTP as a service. Okay. Then we have how we can perform a web server attack, which is how we can brute force the password, which is FTP credentials using Hydra. So basically, we can brute force using the websuit, using Hydra, using some other application. Okay, this time we can use Hydra for brute forcing. Now, how Hydra is more powerful than any other application, like than websuit or than Hashcat or any other application. Okay, so we can use Hydra for brute forcing on the FTP credentials. We can brute force on FTP. We can brute force on SSH. We can brute force on any other like port number or on the login pages as well. Okay, so what we can do, how we can apply this brute force. So here we will going to apply brute force on port number 21, which is FTP. Okay, now we have two options. First option is either we can apply brute force on both username and password, or we can apply brute force on only on the password. It depends. If you know the username, then you can apply on the password only. If you don't know both, then we can apply on both, like username and password. Okay. And for brute forcing, we need a word list, right? Brute force is like it is a kind of attack where we are trying some combination of passwords, right? Or some combination of username. So brute force is like a 50-50 kind of probability. Okay. It is like a hit and trial method. So for applying the brute force, first we need a word list. Okay. And we have one popular website where we can take the word list. So that is a sec list. Okay. So here we can search for sec list directory word list. Okay. So we have this one GitHub directory here. In the sec list, you can get any kind of word list: Wi-Fi password word list, username passwords word list, login pages word list, any kind of word list like fuzzable word list, and web pages word list, like web services word list, like any sort of word list. So you can bookmark this sec list in your own browser because it will like help you in the future scenarios. And these word lists are keep on updating as per the time. Okay. So what we can do here, you can simply, we have some passwords, word list, we have username, web shells, and so on. So we can click on passwords. Okay, we have some common credentials, crack hash, honeybots, keywords, and so on. Malware. Uh, we can click on this one, 2023, 200 most used passwords. Okay, like we have these passwords, 1 2 3 4 5 6 admin and 9 and so on. These are like some common passwords. Okay. So we can take these word list or we can create your own word list. It depends on the scenario. Okay, if you know your target, then you can create your own word list, like some combination of username and password. Okay, so in this case, here, now let's see. Now here you can notice port number 21 is open. Okay, so what we will going to use, if the port is open, then only we can apply the attack. If the port is closed, then we cannot apply the attack. Okay, simple. So what we can do, we can simply use Hydra here. Okay, now let's say here I am applying the attack on both username as well as passwords. Okay, so I have one word list here. So let me apply this command. Okay, so we have this username list and we have this password word list. Okay, let me show you this one. Uh, this is a short word list. Even it depends on the size of your word list. If the size is very long, then it will take time to brute force. Okay, for example, we have this username word list. Okay, like we have this simple word list. Username .txt. Okay, same as with the passwords, we have this passwords word list. You can create your own word list. You can like take word list from the sec list or anywhere you want. Okay, with this passwords word list. So basically, we can apply the attack on both username and password. So here we are using -L, capital L for username word list, capital P for use password word list. Okay, and then your target IP and then FTP. If you are applying the attack on SSH, then you can mention SSH. If you even you can also mention port number 21 or port number like on which port you are applying the attack. Okay, like 22 or 21. So basically, we are applying on FTP. So we can mention FTP here. So Hydra will brute force the credentials on this IP on this particular port number, FTP. If the username and passwords are in the word list, then we can say this will brute force or this will work. Otherwise, not. Okay, it depends on the word list, how powerful the word list is. That is why we can take word list from the sec list. Okay, now it is like attacking the this one, this IP address on port number 21. So this is with the username and password. Now let's say if you know the username and not the password, then also we can apply the attack. Okay, so let me show you that also. Okay. So let's say you know the username and not the password. So if you know the username, then here we can use hyphen small l and then MSF admin. Now MSF admin is the username, and then we can mention the password word list, and then we can apply the IP address of the target machine and FTP, or you can use SSH. Okay, MSF admin. Enter. Okay, so this is for the password. Like if you know the username and not the password. Same as with the password, if you know the password and not the username, then here you can use hyphen capital L and your word list and small p and your password here. Okay, so if you know the password or the username, then you can use a small case like L or P. And if you don't know the username or password, then you can use capital L and capital P. Okay, so it depends. And if you don't know both, then you can apply this command here. So now here you can see the passwords list is very long, which contains 200 passwords. That is why it is taking so long to crack. Okay, so it depends on the size of your word list. Now you can see this is completed. Now the username we know, which is admin here, and password is MSF admin. So the username and password is both MSF admin. Now we can simply log in. We can write FTP and then target IP. And here we can mention MSF admin as a username and MSF admin as a password. Okay, login successful. So we are inside FTP server. Okay. And same as we can, this will brute force for the username and password both. Okay. Is it clear this much? Any questions? Okay. Then we can move to hacking the web applications. So again, we can start with the Nmap. Okay, like we can start with the footprinting, like what kind of information we need for the web applications. So we have already discussed like many tools and many websites to collect website information. Okay. So we have already discussed Nmap, like how we can use Nmap for collecting the website information using this particular scan. Like we have T4, we have A for the aggressive scan, V for the version scanning, and then we have this T4 for number of threads. Okay. Then we have performed the web application reconnaissance. So Nmap is completed. Okay. Second is what web. Now, what web is used for collecting the technologies information, like what kind of technologies your website is using or your target is using. Okay, that is the meaning of what web. So we can simply use what web for collecting the information. Okay, so here we can clear the screen. Okay, and here we can use what web, and we can use your target website. So we can use any website. Let's say here we are using any website here. Okay. Hyphen V means verbose. Verbose will give you extra information about your scan. That is the meaning of verbose here. Okay. Now here you can see this website is using the IP address of this website is this is and the country is this one. Now the website is using HTML5 light speed server and then um okay and then this one policies. Okay, and this is a light speed PHP version this much. Okay, so this website is using PHP version 7.2.34 light speed server and IP address and some other information. Okay, so what web is used for telling us that what kind of technologies your target website is using. For example, this is also using WordPress website. Okay, Hostinger as a platform, server as a light speed, and so on. Okay. And this is the title of the website. And we have some, now this is a WordPress version, which is 6.3.2. And this is PHP version, this is jQuery version. Okay. And this is Elementor version here, you can see. So version is very important. If any of these versions are vulnerable, then we can simply attack on that particular technology. Okay. And these are some emails here found in the website. Okay, and so on. So this website is, this bot web is used for collecting the technology information. Same as we have one more application which is known as Webalizer. We can use that also. So you can simply search for Webalizer extension. Okay, this one, Webalizer extension. And here we can add to Chrome from here. We can simply add to Chrome. After adding here, we can simply check, we can simply check the, let's say we have this website here. Okay, it is a ID serve website. So we can click on this Webalizer. And now this website is using these services. Okay, let's say we have this website. This website is using these technologies. For example, as an editor, it is using Dreamweaver. As a web server, it is using Nginx. Okay. As a programming language, it is using PHP, Adobe Flash, and so on. As a OS, it is using Ubuntu. Okay. So with the help of Webalizer also, we can check for the technologies. The Webalizer is also not free. It is free, like some features are free and some features are paid here. Okay. So it depends on the work. Okay. Even the free version is enough for scanning the website. Okay, same as with the now GitHub. Now GitHub is using these technologies. Like for the wickets, it is using these, and for the payment process, it is using PayPal. For the JavaScript, it is using React, and for the other, it is using Amazon S3 buckets for the storage and so on. Okay, Amazon Web Services as a platform as a service and so on. Okay, so with the help of Webalizer, we can collect some other information. So we have Webalizer and we have bot web for collecting the technology information. Also, we have Netcraft, okay, which we have already discussed. Then we have perform the web spidering using Zap. So this we have already discussed, like how we can use Zap, how we can scan the websites using Zap. Zap is a vulnerability scanning. One second. Okay, so Zap is mainly used for scanning the vulnerabilities, which we have already discussed. Then we have this one, which is detect the load balancers using various tools. Now, what are load balancers? So basically, previously we had discussed DOS attack. So in the DOS attack, we are sending lots of requests. So how we can handle the lots of requests? So for handling, we can use load balancers. Load balancers can block the extra request. Okay, and this can help server to manage the number of requests. Okay, so how we can identify if any website is using load balancer or not? So we can use dig or we can use LBD. Okay, so we can use any of this application. Both are same only. Okay, so we can use LBD and we can select the IP that your domain here. So basically we have Yahoo here. So yahoo.com is using load balancer on these IP addresses. Okay, so we can simply check if your website, if your target is using load balancers or not. Okay. So now what we can do, if your website or your target is using load balancer, then you can first crash the load balancer and then you can crash the server. Okay, that is simple. You can first crash down the load balancer or you can hack the load balancer and then you can crash the server. If any website is protected by the load balancer in that case. Okay. But it is illegal. So if you are trying this attack, make sure you have the proper permission. Okay. Okay. Then we have identify the web server directories using various tools. Now, this is something, it is very important. Let's say we have the website. Okay. For example, we have ABC website, abc.com. Now, inside ABC, we can have multiple web pages, we have multiple files, and we have multiple directories. For example, we can have abc.com homepage. We can have ABC about us page. We can have abc.com contact us page, and so on. For example, here in this website, we have this login page, login.php. It is a file, and basically it is a web page. When we click on cart, we have this cart.php. It is a web page. When we click on profile, we have this profile.php. We have this artist.php. We have this categories.php. So these are the web pages. Now let's say we have this web page, abc.com. Contact us. We can have abc.com admin page. Also, we can have abc.com login page, right? So let's say if you want to apply, even we can have abc.com forget password page. Okay. Now, why are we considering these all web pages? Okay, of the same website. Because let's say if home web page is secure, then we cannot say that about us page, contact us page, admin login page, these are all secure enough. Means we can say that these all web pages are not using the same security level. Okay, because the mechanism of the web pages are different. Means the admin page has login pages. Like admin page has some user input, home page is a static web page, about us page can contain some other information. Okay, so the mechanism of each and every web page is different. So as the security level of each and every web page is different here. So that is why we are looking for each and every web pages of the same website. If one web page is secure, we cannot say that other web page is also secure. If contact us web page is secure, we cannot say that forget password web page is secure. Right? If admin and login web pages are secure, we cannot say this forget password web page is secure. Okay, so that is why we have to check each and every web page. Okay, even we have to look for the hidden web pages more. Because if the web pages are hidden, then we can say why they are hidden. And secondly, if they are hidden, then they can contain some like confidential information. Or maybe they can contain some vulnerability, which we can exploit. Okay, so that is why make sure you are looking for each and every web page. Same as with the subdomain. Let's say if we have the subdomain here. So let's say we have this subdomain here, mail.google.com and meet.google.com, and we have this main domain, google.com. Now, many of the users, many of the hackers, they mainly attack on the Google web page, google.com. Now, think of a scenario. Now, Google is the main website. So, Google must be secure. Okay. So, we cannot apply the attack on Google, or we cannot find the vulnerability on the Google web page, the main web page. So, what we can do, we can find the vulnerability on the other subdomains and web pages. Okay. So many of the attackers attack, or many of the hackers or the bug hunters attack on the main web page, and the main web page is secure enough. They will not going to find any kind of vulnerability there. So what we can do, we can find the vulnerability on the subdomain or on the other web pages, and mainly which are hidden here. Many subdomains are hidden, many web pages are hidden. So how we can find the hidden web pages and subdomains with the help of DERF? Okay, so we can find the web pages or directories with the help of DERF or DERF. Or for the subdomains, we can use like subdomain enumerator. We can use CRTSH. Okay, which we have already discussed. Okay, so that is why always look for the entire website. If you are penetrating any website, if you are applying any kind of attack on any website, look for each and every web page. Okay, maybe this forget password page is not secure. Okay, maybe we have some other web page, maybe they are not secure enough. Okay, so it depends, because the mechanism of each and every web page are different. Maybe the mechanism of admin login they are same, but the security level can be different. Okay, so it depends. So what we can do is we can find each and every web page of the website with the help of DERF or DERVister. Okay, apart from this, you can use a directory search or GoBuster. Okay, so here I will going to tell this one, Dove or Dovebuster. Now, Dove is a CLI application and Dovebuster is a GUI application. That is the difference only. It is CLI and it is GUI. Okay, so we will going to use both. First, we will use Dovebuster. Sorry, Dove here. So here, you can simply search here Dove and then mention the IP address of your target machine. So here I will going to use IP of the attacker machine. Sorry, the target machine, which is the Metasploitation machine in our case. Okay, so the IP is 192.168.138, the IP address of the Metasploitation machine. So we will going to find how many web pages are there. So for example, we have this one. Now this is also tell us like which web page is accessible, which web page contains some restrictions. Okay, for example, 200 okay means the web pages we can access the web page. 403 is we cannot access this web page. We don't have the permission. Okay. Now you can see bash history. We have CGI win. It is a confidential directory. We have dev here. We have index here. So these are the web pages only. PHP info, PHP my admin. So these are all the web pages. So this dove is used to tell us how many web pages are there. Okay. Same as we can try with the dove buster. Okay. What we can do, we can search here on the Kali dove buster. Okay, so here we can select the target URL. So it will be HTTP and colon // 192.168.1 and create. Okay, and then you can mention the port number as well. Okay, and then we can increase the number of threads up to 30 is fine. Okay, for a pause, and then we can select a word list. Basically, here we are brute forcing the word list as well. Sorry, the directories as well. So what we can do, we can select a word list for the directories. So we can click on browse here, and here we can select, and here we can click on the main file, and here we have the users. Okay, uh, users share. Okay, move inside share, and then we have the option here, the word list option, or we can move inside Dove here. Dove Buster. Okay, and then we can click on the word list, and then we can click on the, and then here we can click on the medium list. Okay, and click on select list, and then we can start brute forcing. And then here we can see the results. Okay, now you can see these are the web pages inside this target. We have this index page, we have icons page, we have index, and again we have tvkey and so on. Okay, so here we are using the same mechanism, which is brute force only. For example, let's say we have this is my website ABC, and here let's say I have these web pages. So I will match these web pages with a word list. Okay, which is a directory word list. Let's say I have the word list, for example, let me show you that in the sec list. Okay, here you can see in the sec list, we have the directory word list, which is, we can say fuzzing. Yeah. Okay, so here, so we can search here, web pages, or we can say directory word list, sec list, okay, and GitHub. Okay, so we have this one web content, web page, word list. Okay, now you can see these are the word list. In this word list, we have some combination of passwords. Sorry, some combination of names of the word list. For example, root, cyberdocs, and so on. Content, default. So basically, we are matching this word list with the actual web pages of the website. If the web pages matches in the word list, then we can say the web page exists, otherwise not exist. Okay, that is why this is how it is working, which is this word list. Okay, and here these web pages are there inside the word list. Okay, so we can use Dovbuster or we can use Dove. Both are powerful. Basically, Dove is more powerful than Dovbuster because CLI is more powerful than GUI. Okay, so that is why we commonly use Dove. In place of Dove, you can also use GoBuster, and you can also use the directory search. Okay, or even we can use Nmap for finding the directories. Okay, then we have identified the clickjacking vulnerability using clickjack. So clickjacking is another vulnerability which is not a very high level like a severe level vulnerability, but we can consider it. So what we can do, we can simply copy this URL and we can visit the web page. Now, what is clickjacking? Clickjacking is a kind of a attack where it is like a malicious technique. Okay, it is a kind of a malicious technique of tricking a user or a web user into clicking on something else. For example, let's say you are installing any application or any malware or any movie or any game. Okay, so when you click on download button there, you will see some pop-ups, you will see some ads, you will redirect to any other website. So that is clickjacking. Okay, it is like a malicious technique when someone put something else underneath the button. Okay, like the button is asking for to download the movie, but when you click on that button, you will redirect to any other web page or any other ads pop up, etc. So it is a malicious technique of tricking a web user into clicking on something different from what the user perceives. Okay, they are clicking on. So even when you click on the download button, instead of movie, they can also download the any kind of malware with the movie. Okay, so that is known as clickjacking. So many websites are vulnerable to clickjacking and many are not. So we can check if the website is vulnerable to clickjacking or not. So we can simply copy this tool here inside the Linux. Okay, we can check if the website is vulnerable or not. And then we can move inside clickjack. And I think it is made up of Python. Yeah. So we have to install the requirements.txt. Okay, now here we can search for now we can run this clickjack. Okay, so how to use it? So we can simply mention Python 3 clickjack-f, and inside this file we have some list of the domains which we have to check. So what we can do, we can simply cat here domains.txt. Okay, so inside this one, we have this website here. So we can check if this website is vulnerable or not. Again, I'm saying this is not a high level attack. It is like a basic level vulnerability, even a client side level vulnerability, and it is not severe enough. Okay, so we can simply use Python 3. So we can use Python 3, click jackpot, and here we can mention the domain here. Okay, So now you can see this website is vulnerable to the clickjacking attack. Okay. So if you want to check the file as well, so you can simply move inside the JNTech directory. If any, we can check ls. Yeah, we can open this web page basically. So you can simply, you can use any other website. Okay. Basically, you cannot use this website. So you can use any other website for scanning the web page. Okay, your target website. Basically checking. Yeah. So we can open this web page. It is a HTML web page, which will tell us that this website is vulnerable. Okay. Okay, now you can see website is vulnerable to clickjacking. And we get the web page of the website. Now, how to apply this attack and where we can apply, what kind of activities we can perform, that is the part of penetration testing. Okay, like web application penetration testing. Okay, then we have one more application which is PWN accesses. So it is it is used for checking if the website is vulnerable to accesses vulnerability or not. Like we can check if the website is vulnerable to accesses or not. Now, what is this accesses? Access is known as cross-site scripting attack. Okay, it is mainly the client-side attack in which we apply the JavaScript payload in the website. Okay, like we have many types of accesses, and it is a very popular attack. Okay, like it is same as SQL injection. We have SQL injection, so the same severity we have with the accesses. Okay, so accesses is also a very severe level attack. So we can check if the website is vulnerable to accesses or not with the help of PWN accesses. Now, how to apply the attack, where we can apply, what kind of activities we can perform, that is the part of application penetration testing. Okay. So in this scenario, we can even check, we can only check like if the website is vulnerable or not. So we can simply copy the URL and we can download this application, which is PWN accesses. Okay, so for installing, we have to install the beautiful soup. So copy this command and apply in the Linux. Okay, move one directory backward in the home Kali. And here you can paste the command. Okay, same as you can apply with the pip install request. Okay, then again we can use git clone here. So clone the repository here, clear the screen, and here. Okay, then you can apply this command one by one. Uh, First, this command, okay, give the permission. Second, this command, and third, this command. So we can use Python 3 and help here. Okay. And how to use it? You can simply mention the URL of your target URL. So let me use this URL only. Okay, this is like this test URL, this website only. Okay, so we are going to use test PHP. Sorry, we can move inside PWN accesses. So we are checking if this website, which is this one, is vulnerable to accesses or not. So accesses is also a very high level of vulnerability. Okay, so let's see. And basically the accesses in the SQL injection, we can only apply in the parameters. Like if the website is asking for the user input, then only we can apply the SQL injection, and same as with the accesses. Okay, for example, the website is asking you to search anything. The website is asking you to comment anything. The website is asking you to apply the username password. So these are all user inputs. Okay. The website is asking for select any product. So these are all user input. Okay, so we can apply the attack like the SQL injection attack and the accesses on these user inputs. If a website has no user input, then we cannot apply the attack. Okay, like accesses or SQL injection. Okay, but most of the websites have this user inputs. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so here we can check. Here you can see like most of the parameters are vulnerable here. For example, pick one. Okay, maybe your access is vulnerable point. Okay, and here this tool has applied this script here. Sorry, this payload here. Okay, this is a payload here. Okay, this is a JavaScript tag here, which is script tag. Okay, and here we are applying this payload here. Okay, so basically, and here you can see file found link with query, and this may be a vulnerable access point. So these are the parameters only: pick equal, file equal, artist equal. These are all vulnerable points. Okay, now you can see query get, and here you can see detected accesses. Okay, and here we have this one is vulnerable. Okay, so this is how we can check if a web page or a website is vulnerable to accesses or not. Accesses again is a very high level of vulnerability. Okay. If you want to study more about accesses, then what you can do, you can just open this website, which is PortSugar. Okay, portsugar.com. Yeah, portsugar.net. Okay, here what you can do, you can create your account here. It is free. Okay, and if you want to learn the web application penetration testing as a beginner, then you can start with this academy here. Okay, create your account here and click on the latest topics and view all topics here. Okay, now from here you can learn the entire penetration testing, like the web application penetration testing. Like almost all the attacks are covered here. Okay, PortSugar is Websuit is made by PortSugar only. Okay, you can see the Websuit logo here. Okay. So now you can see here we have the server side topics. Here we have SQL injection, authentication path, traversal, command injection. So these are all vulnerabilities here, and you can click on if you click on SQL. Let's say here we have 18 labs. Okay. Now here you can see what is SQL. It will tell you what is SQL. Here some videos also, how many types of SQL we have, how we can apply. And also we have some labs here. You can see it is a lab. So when you click on here, you have to solve the lab. And lab solving is all free here. Okay. So here you can access the lab. You can also see the solutions here. You can also see some video solution here and so on. Okay. So PortSugar is a very wonderful website for learning the penetration testing. If you're interested, then you can go through it. Okay, it is like all free, and it is a very good resource for learning the penetration testing if you want to get started. Okay, for the advanced, you can like research more, but for the starting, you can just access these videos. Okay, these labs. These all are free. Even this current side here, we have the accesses. This is also free. We have click checking. Okay, and also we have some advanced topics. These all are free. Okay, and the port security, like they are keep on adding some new labs here. Okay, so these all are free here, and they will ask you to use the Websuit only as an application because PortSugar is the Websuit application only. So that is why they will just promote Websuit only to use Websuit commercial version only. Okay, but you can use some other application. It's your choice. But like this one is a very wonderful website if you want to learn penetration testing. Okay, so let me share this URL. If you are all are interested, then you can go through it. Apart from this, if you want to practice more, then you can try this one, try hack me. Okay, you can go through this try hack me, and here you can create your account. And after the account, you can click on this learn here. In the learning path, you can click on learn. Okay, and here we have multiple paths here. Got it. Okay, we have writing path, we have junior penetration, we have cyber security, we have cyber defense, but these are all our basics. Okay, there's nothing advanced here, but you can get started. You can start with the basics only. Okay, you can go through offensive, CompTIA, SOC level 1, 2. Okay, these are all basics, and you can also go through each and every module. Like if you want to learn about Websuit, then you can go for Websuit, Metasploit, network security, writing fundamentals, and so on. No, this is not free. I think you have to pay something around, I guess $29. Let me check the price here. Sorry, yeah, it's premium per month. Yeah, $10 only. Okay, premium one. Okay, and one more thing, I'm not promoting anything. It is just I want to share some resources so you can practice on your own. Now, here some resources are free in the trial, some resources are paid. So don't pay in the starting. First, explore this one, try it me. If you think this is worth it, then you can pay. Okay, like if you think it is worth it to pay for these labs, for these try Hackney platform, then you can pay for it. Okay, otherwise, if you don't want to pay, you can just practice on the free resources. Okay. Also, if you want to practice on the labs, also you can see we have many labs here. We have Linux labs, we have vulnerability labs, we have networking labs, we have Nmap labs, and so on. Okay, so you can go through this one. Apart from tryhacking, you can also go for the hack the box. But head the box are for the advanced user. Okay, we have this hack the box. These are for the advanced user, and it is not free as well. It is also pay. Okay, like some labs are free here, some labs are pay here. So if you want to access, you can also access some free resources from here. Okay, don't pay for the hack the box. Okay, don't pay for the hack the box until 1 year. After 1 year, if you're familiar, if you want to learn more about the labs, if you want to go for the offensive security, then you can pay for the hack the box. If you want to go for the defensive, then don't pay for the hack the box. Okay. So hack the box are mainly for the offensive users. Okay, so hack the box are mainly for the offensive users, not for the defensive. Try hack me are for the both for offensive and defensive. And the sports trigger is for both for offensive and like defensive. Okay. And apart from these resources, you can also go for if you want to practice your Linux, then you can go for over the wire. Okay. We have this one challenge here. It is like a game over the wire bandit. So you can go for this one as well. Okay, you can go through each and every level. With each and every level, you will get a key of another level. So if you want to practice your Linux, then you can go for this over the wire. Even if you want to see the solutions, then you can search for over the wire bandit walkthroughs. If no walkthroughs. Okay, you can go for this walkthroughs here. So it depends on you, like how much you all practice on the daily basis. Okay. And apart from that, if you want any other resources, then you can just WhatsApp me. Okay. Any other questions?
No, thank you, Vivian.
Okay, so rest we will continue in the next session. Okay, we are left with few more sessions only, like around 4 to 5 sessions, or even less than that. Okay, so rest we will continue in the next session. Any other questions?
I don't think so.
Okay, so rest we will continue in the next session. Thank you.
Thank you.